My name is Pastor Chris. You are still welcome to my channel, This is Fresh Dew. And this morning we're still looking at seasons and times. We did an introduction yesterday, and the last broadcast, and we're actually building on that introduction. And one thing about scripture is there are certain classic scriptures for certain topics. So for seasons and times, there's somewhere you will need to go. And I want us to go there. At least to me, I always feel if we talk about seasons and times, there are certain places we need to go to. One of them is in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1, as the book of the preacher. The book of the preacher. And this is what it says. It says, to everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the earth. To everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the earth. If you have a quick look at if you're using the King James Version of the scripture, you will discover that thing there is in italics. Why is it in italics? It's not there in the original, translations. But it was put there by the translators to help us understand. And actually, they did a good job here. But if you remove the thing, you have a stronger picture. It says, to every, there is a season and a time to every purpose under the earth. So it could mean everything, but it could also mean every person. It could mean every endeavor. It could mean every nation. It could mean everything. Everything. Every person. Every individual. Every act. And the preceding verses make it very clear. It says a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, and a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. In other words, you can't just do everything anytime. You need to locate the exact time for that activity for it to begin to prosper. There's a backing that the heavens give based on time. There's a backing. As in the physical. In Africa, it's not the best time, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. It's not the best time for you to plant during the dry season. The rains are not there. Unless you're using unless you're using irrigation. Without that, it can work. Why? Because the timing is wrong. The season is wrong. You need to locate the time. And so also with every single life. According to the scripture, there is a time for everything. And exactly that's why you see in the book of Mark, the master came up and said, the time is fulfilled. There had to be a time. In other words, he couldn't have preached the gospel earlier because it wasn't the time for it. You see, Pastor, what if he went later? It still wasn't the time for it. And that is why at times many struggle and battle. They do the right thing and they begin to wonder what is happening. I'm doing the right thing, but it's not prospering the way it ought to prosper. It's not time. It's not a season. It looks excellent, it looks beautiful, but it's simply wrongly positioned. Times and what? Seasons. To a nation, to an individual, to every single event. Locating the time and season is so crucial, so vital. I'm not saying it's not important to do the right thing. It's important to do the right thing, but locate the right time and the right season. Very vital. And that is why at times we're approaching a new year, but people don't sit down. The average investors don't sit down to ask, what is the seasons? What is happening? What are the heavenlies speaking now? Planners basically will look at the economic variables and socioeconomic variables and generate what ought to be done for a nation, for an individual per time. But the believer don't just look only on the socioeconomic variable, which is also important, but he also picks up what is the speaking, what is God doing at this particular point in time, what is the activity taking place in the heavenlies at this particular point in time. So with that view, the believer's planning or seasons of times is more effective if only he will use it. But he will use it. You will use it. God bless you.